Hi guys, I'm G, and this is Star Command for iOS. It's available for both the iPad and the iPhone, but I highly recommend if you do want to pick it up, you do pick up the iPad version. It is very poorly optimized for iPhone, but it is still a very, very good game, so let's get down to it. What is Star Command? It's a real-time strategy game, let's say, where you manage the goings-on in this really badass-looking spaceship. I mean, look at that. How cool does that look? I mean, everything else in this game is very Star Trek kind of themed. Everything's kind of sleek and smooth, but for this, they've just gone for these big blocky designs, and it's very anime, sort of Macross-esque, which I highly appreciate. But anyway, how do you manage a ship? Well, you do it partly through these. These are tokens, and you use them to pay for ship upgrades, building new facilities, hiring new staff, that kind of stuff. These ones, with the eye on them, these are loot ones. You get these for completing missions, and I'm right at the beginning of the game, so it's given me, I think, 4 of each? Yeah, 4 of each. So that's enough just to get the ship up and running, so you can actually complete some objectives. So let's spend a few, shall we? As you see here, we've got these 3 empty slots on my ship at the moment, and in these 2 here, I can put either a science or a engineering facility, and in these ones on the side of the ship is where the guns will go, and trust me, you will need the guns. Pretty much any encounter with aliens in this game results in a conflict of some form or another, so it's good to have lots of weapons. To build first though, let's build a dodge facility. So in the top right hand corner here you can see that's the cost of building that facility, so I need 3 orange tokens. If we look at some of the other stuff I could build, I could do this healing room, 2 blue ones, 1 orange, or this shield booster, 3 blue. I generally find dodge generators the best thing to start off with, so I'll do that. 1, 2, 3. Should also mention I have disabled the tutorial in this area because A, I'm going to explain it to you anyway, and B, it's not very good. The game kind of leaves out a lot of very key concepts that you will need in order to progress in the game, which leads to you having to restart tons of times when your entire crew gets obliterated because there was some mechanic that, for whatever reason, they didn't feel it was worth mentioning. Anyway, so we've got this facility, but no one in it. But we'll solve that in a minute. Let's spend some more of our tokens first. We need a weapon, so let's build... Can we build a machine gun? Yes, we've got just enough for a machine gun. 1 orange and 2 red. There we go. As you see, we don't have anyone to staff these. At the moment, all we have here is our captain, this Riker-looking fellow here. You can move people around, as you can see. It is kind of awkward. It's very finicky about where you have to touch in order to get someone to move, which is kind of awkward in the middle of combat when you're trying to prevent someone from dying or not walking out an airlock or any other such horrible things. But let's assign our dude to this weapon facility. A crew member's role on the ship is determined by what room they're assigned to, including the captain. So if I assign him to this gun, not only will he operate that gun, but he becomes a red shirt, which means he can actually fight off intruders, which other crew members can't do. Speaking of which, let's get some more crew members, shall we? Actually, first let's build a science facility just before I end up wasting all my tokens. Don't have enough for a healing room. So let's build this shield booster. Okay, so we've got 2 unmanned facilities, so we need at least 2 crew members. Crew members are randomly generated. Their stats will start at 0, so it doesn't really matter. It's more just a choice of appearance. I have noticed quite creepily, though, the random generator has a very strong bias towards black ladies compared to black men, which is kinda weird. Like, I'm scrolling through here and I haven't counted a black guy yet. There's a black lady, 2 black ladies, 1 black lady, 1 black lady. And there we go, there's a black guy. Not saying that's a problem, it's just kind of weird. Let's keep his name. And let's get 2 more. Let's go for this black lady. By the way, good on them for including black and white characters, and as well as male and female. You know, that's something that a lot of games don't bother with, which is kind of sad. And let's go for Harry, this old dude. Let's rename him blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's something you can do. Let's assign him to this Dodge facility, so he will become an engineer. And this lady to that healing lab, so she'll become a blue shirt, whatever you want to call it. I'm a terrible Trekkie. Like, I love the shows, but I'm terrible at remembering names or icons or any kind of sort of thing you'd expect someone to remember if they were really into sci-fi. But anyway, what shall this guy do? I think we need another guy on weapons. So you always need at least one person in a facility for it to function, which is kind of important with these weapon facilities because, of course, not only are they people operating your guns, but you also need them to fend off invaders, so you need to split them up occasionally, but always leave at least one behind to actually make sure you're shooting at the enemy ship. I think we're about ready for the first mission then. Yeah, I think that's everything. I don't think we have any tokens left. Oh, actually, before we go, I will show you the thing the game forgets to tell you that's very important. For these two facilities to actually have a function in combat, you have to build tokens with them. So, let's have to construct that, and then construct one for that. And that will create a disposable token for each of those facilities that you can then use in combat to actually have whatever the effect of that room is. So Dodge facility, I'll avoid an attack. Shield booster, I'll instantly recharge my shields. And you'll see how that works in a second. Like I said, the game forgets to tell you that, I believe. If it does it far too subtly. Which is a good way to get yourself killed in this game. So I'll just let those recharge before we head off into combat. See what else can I tell you about this game? It has an interesting development history. It is a Kickstarter game. It was originally kickstarted back in 2011, and I believe that was for this iOS version and Android as well, which is coming soon. You may remember 2011 was before Kickstarter really exploded thanks to Double Fine, so they did fairly well for the standards at the time. Let's see, what did they get eventually? I have them down as $36,000, which is really impressive. Unfortunately, that wasn't quite enough to create the PC and Mac versions that they wanted to do, and you know, they had some really ambitious ideas for those, so they needed a lot more money, and they got it. What was the date? It was in May last year, and they got $150,000, which you'd think would be more than enough to get everything right, but sadly, they missed a lot of deadlines. This game is like 18 months late or something like that, and it supposedly has about 30% of what they originally planned in it. It's still a really cool game, but you can see in a lot of places where there was clearly meant to be more options and stuff like that. I mean, this is pretty limited. You've got those 4 slots, and there weren't that many locations to build. So we can collect these tokens now. It might seem very simple that you have to actually collect the token from the facility like that, but in the middle of combat, that's actually quite a big concern, as there is so much to manage. We won't see that till quite towards the end of this video, because we're going to have to go through the 2 tutorial levels before that. I would of course loaded up my own save, which is much further in the game, but there is a crippling bug. Meanwhile, I'm just going to fast forward to Mercury here. Yeah, there's a crippling bug in it at the moment, which they haven't patched for whatever reason. Oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to skip the story stuff, because it's pretty basic. It's fun though, it's self-aware, you know, they know they're kind of taking the mickey in places. Detecting undefined puzzle, blah 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 blah. Yeah, how cool does that ship look? Oh my god, why am I not in that ship? Oh, should I open fire or should I negotiate? Let's try and negotiate, shall we? Hailing. I love these little cutscene bits because they remind me so much of old LucasArts games. Just the way every character's animated and goes through these little idle animations, it looks so cool. Blah, 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 blah. You do get options in this game, but they don't really affect much. It's usually just some factor of combat will be changed slightly. So I believe if I take this top option here, are you aware of advanced human weaponry, I psych them out slightly, which means their weapons will recharge slower during this combat segment. So yeah, here we go, first battle. This is going to be quite slow because obviously this is meant to be a tutorial mission. We will eventually get to the cool stuff. Yeah, this game doesn't really come alive until you get to like the third mission. Unfortunately, you're woefully ill-prepared for that mission when it does occur, so do not be surprised if you die and have to restart and get back to it when you first play this game. Well, hopefully if you've seen this video, you'll get a bit of a head start on that. First, I shall pause this and explain what's going on now. You'll see at the top here, we have the hull and the shield gauge for the enemy ship, and that works just as you'd expect. Get down the shields, you can get to the hull. Deplete the hull, ship blows up, shields recharge if you wait too long. Simple. Next to that we have the weapon and the invasion gauge. When the weapon gauge is full, enemy attacks you. When invasion gauge is full, they send over an invasion party, provided your shields are down. And your shields are going to be down a lot in this game, so do not be surprised. In the bottom right hand corner you'll see that's my actual shield gauge, and no hull gauge. That's the weird thing about this game. It's only game over if the captain dies. So your ship can get torn to shreds. As long as the captain's still alive, everything's fine. But of course the best way for that captain to suddenly die is for there to be a hull breach and him to casually walk out into the empty void of space. He doesn't last very long in that kind of environment, unfortunately. So it is in your best interest to keep the ship running. And also if your shields and your weapons and all your facilities get blown up, there's not really much you can do to stop that from happening. So it's... I guess this game's all about crisis management, just dealing with how things are going wrong. You're not going to see much of that in this one though, I'm afraid. As this is a very, very tiny ship. Come on, let's take another look at that thing. Oh, it's going to make a shot at me. See that tiny, tiny little missile? Boomf. How cool does that look? But yeah, anyway, those things in the bottom left, you'll see those are my different abilities charging. So my dodge generator, my shield generator have just come online, so I can spend those tokens I created to get their effect. And my weapons are about to come online too. So for each weapon has their own little mini game, which will determine how much damage you do. And I really like the one for the machine gun, so this should be fun. Okay, so that's circle spinning, and I've got to press the button just as it goes in, and it gets faster, and faster, and faster. Oh, I missed. And then you have to press these really quick. There we go. Yeah, so how you perform in the minigame determines how much damage you'll actually do with your attack. The machine gun is unique in that it's very easy to fail, but if you continually get good at it, you'll get so many hits in, it'll make up for it. Like, I've already shredded right through their shields. The next salvo will probably get most of the way through their hull as well. So all things are good. Oh, I can collect these tokens. Let's get them to construct some more. Oh no, I've already got 2 of each token, so... Let's see. Yeah, see, you've got my disposable tokens in my token chest now. So you can only get 2 of each, and stop you just manufacturing hundreds of them and being practically invincible or some shit. Come on, attack me. Come on, I want to show them dodge generator. Yeah, these early bits are very slow, trust me, it gets very, very frantic once the game actually gets going. Anything else I can tell you about it in the meantime? It is... how much is it? It's $3 or £2 on the App Store, which I think is well worth it. Already it's provided me with more than enough entertainment. The big downside, of course... hang on. Yeah, dodge that shot. The big downside, of course, is there is that crippling bug, which they still haven't fixed. This game has been out long enough that they really should have dealt with it by now, and it kind of worries me slightly. The worst part is, I was really getting into the game at the time. I desperately want to play more of this thing, but they don't seem to want me to. So do bear that in mind before you pick it up. There will be a patch eventually, of course, but you'll probably want to wait for that. I've also promised there is a lot more features coming to the game in order to make up for, you know, it not really living up to their original vision after being given all that money to make that vision actually happen. I think if I select one of my characters and try to get Yeah, details, and I go along here to contraband, coming soon. I don't know what that means. I assume something will happen. Actually, while we're here, we can see as you level up your character in one of the 3 different disciplines, they'll gain new abilities. The abilities are not that interesting for the most part. They're just extended range generally, or like they'll be invincible for a few seconds, or they'll move really fast. It's pretty minor stuff. You don't really get too attached to individual characters in this, like you do in FTL, which is a very similar game, which you can get on Steam now. It's really, really good. This game has kind of a different bent from FTL, though. It's more about what's going on in your ship than what's going on in the enemy ship. I mean, in FTL, you target different weapon systems and subsystems of your enemy, but that doesn't really play in here. It's more about moving your troops around, micromanaging everything, collecting tokens, and editing your ship. It's also a lot less random. The game's quite linear. There is a few like divergent storylines, but for the most part you're fighting one set of enemies, moving on to the next, moving on to the next, moving on to the next. There we go. Let's kill this thing. Come on. There we go, lots of hits. Oh, one left. Nearly missed that. Hopefully this will take him out. Oh, 14 health. That's not fair. Oh. Doesn't matter. My shield just shrugged that off. Yeah, for this early fight, it's pretty difficult to lose unless you just don't attack, period. Let's just wait for the weapons to recharge then. Pretty good music. Come on, come on. Doesn't take quite as long once you've got 2 weapons. Generally you'll have one recharging while the other's firing, so it makes that a bit more interesting. Ring. Wait, I need the ones that... It doesn't matter. Just needed the one shot to hit. Ooh. There we go. And then it explodes and falls apart. Victory! And see, now we've got the loot. So we've got 1 blue, 2 orange, and 1 red. So let's head back to Earth and customize our ship a little bit before we get into the invasion tutorial. Commander saying, well done, blah 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 blah. Have a knock Mars, blah 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 blah. Let's see, what do we have total? Not enough to get a new weapon system, sadly. Or any other facility. What we could spend them on, if we wanted to, is upgrades for each facility. Each one has 3 upgrades. They generally just do fairly standard statistical things like here, increase the amount of shield boost you get from the shield booster. There's also ones that make you manufacture tokens quicker and stuff like that. What I will say is the little flavor text for each of them is pretty good. I highly recommend you take a read through those. So what shall we do? Let's recruit more crew. We've still got plenty of spaces for them to go. So you have to be at a home planet to recruit crew, and depending on where you are when you do that, you'll get different races, but as we're at Earth, we just get humans. Let's get this guy. What should it be? You can have an orange one. Pretty sure there's no effect to what token you use. It's just a case of... Let's look away. That's my way of getting them randomly. Keep name. I'm terrible at making names for characters, so I'm not even going to bother. Jennifer, sounds legit. Red one, done. Okay, so we've got these 3 crew members. Let's distribute them around. I generally find I only need 1 scientist because they're basically your healer. However, they are manning that shield station, so if I have 1 guy actually do the healing around the ship and 1 person actually making the shield booster work, that will work out fine. Although during this next section we are going to see an invasion, so it's best to assign everyone, or at least a lot of people, to military roles, and then group them all together. So these two up here, plus this guy, plus this doctor, can be my little military running around the ship and taking out intruders as they appear. Let's go do that. Spent all our tokens, so not much left to do. Yep, all gone. Oh no, there's one blue token left. Might save that for a bit later. Let's move this engineer somewhere safe though. Just gonna save game quickly. Alright, let's go. So you've got lots of different locations you can go to, but until the game says so, you can't actually do anything there. There are a couple of repeatable missions you can do as well to grind for points and experience and stuff like that, but you generally don't need to. You get quite a lot just from doing the story missions. Like, oh, it's an old satellite. What could possibly be in there? Signal. Da-da-da. Zombies. That's right, even in sci-fi games you cannot escape from frickin' zombies. Thankfully this only plays a very minor part in the game, you don't have to worry too much. It was kind of frustrating though that out of all the alien races they could have conducted to be in this segment, they just went, nah, we'll make them zombies. They are Russian zombies though, so at least that's a unique twist. See, they're coming in over here. You don't get to use any weapons on your actual ship for this mission. It's purely like it's purely your security force doing all the damage. Although, if you look at the top, rather amusingly, that old Russian ship does have more health and hull than the giant spaceship we were fighting before, so I don't know. But yeah, zombies. They walk towards you, you shoot them, then they die again, I guess. It's a pretty boring level. So what I'm going to do is a little time skip. I'm going to play through this level and I'll come back to you then, we'll do a couple of upgrades, then we can get into the real meat of the game, like a proper combat encounter. So see you in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back. I fended off the zombie hordes and now I've got quite a nice little collection of tokens to spend stuff on. So first let's reassign some of these crew. The next mission is a hybrid of ship-to-ship and invasion combat, so you don't need quite so many security guys, I don't think. Most importantly though, we will need an extra weapon, so let's have a plasma torpedo. Not a quantum torpedo, you understand, a plasma one. We don't want to infringe on any copyrights. So that's installed now, and what do I have left? Got 2 tokens, I think I'll use those to hire 2 new crew members. It's not really enough for an upgrade, and I've now filled all 4 slots. You can get bigger ships with more slots, I believe, but you have to finish the game to unlock them, I think. Obviously, because of that glitch, I can't get much further than I am already, and I've pretty much fully kitted out this ship at that point. Let's look away. Okay, that'll do. One for you. Keep name. And let's hire another one. Who should it be? Chase. Use that. And now that should be enough for a full crew. So let's assign one guy to engineering. This guy can go back to his science facility. Need one of these military guys over there to man that. And well, that's already got 2 people on it. What shall this person do then? I think I'll keep her as part of my security force. And this guy too. And he can continue to be their doctor. That should be enough to fend off any intruders. Right. Oh no, we've got one guy left. Let's say he can be military too. Why not? Alright, let's go. Let's get into some real combat. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Hail the ship. Oh no, it's some friendly aliens in need of help. Let's bring them over. So these guys are NPCs, you don't really control them, but they will just wander around your ship, and during the invasion you will have to protect them. I don't think there's any losing condition if one of them dies, because I've never actually managed to get one of them to die. But I know at the very least you have to protect this lady who's about to join my crew. And how good does that ship look? Oh my god! Look, come on, let's go over. Yeah, look at that. Why am I not in that ship? Oh my god, look at it. Yeah. Giant spider ship. Anyway, my little ship here. Let's deal with this person who's just joined the crew. She has a big boost to science, so I will probably unassign this science officer and make her an engineer. And hopefully you'll see why engineers are so useful in this battle. So now she is in charge of that shield booster. Let's hail these ant guys. Blah 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 blah. Just threatening. Same idea as before. I think one of these choices will affect the battle in some way. I have no idea which one is. I think you can actually sell one of the aliens who came over there, and that will diverge the story slightly or something, but I've not really looked too far into that yet. Let's just say Princess stays with us, and battle begins. Obviously this ship is far more powerful than the little scout thing we fought earlier. And it should actually do some real damage to the internals of my ship. One thing I did forget to do was to build up on my disposable tokens while I had the chance. So I'm going to have to get that guy to build tokens there. And this cannon can't actually fire unless you have a torpedo, which needs to be built in the form of a torpedo token. So I'm not going to get to fire that anytime soon. Meanwhile, they've already fully charged their invasion, so as soon as my shields go down, which is going to happen pretty soon when they fire their big gun. Oh, still tiny little missile, but I reckon that's going to shred right through my shield. Oh yeah, that's over half of it down. And here comes the invasion force. This is where things get a little hairy. These guys are much stronger than the zombies. And again, won't seem like much now, but when there's a billion other things going on in the ship, it becomes a bit of an issue. It's like, just imagine if suddenly there was a hull breach, say, right here in this little corner. Everyone's going to get sucked out and die instantly, which can kind of put a little stop into your plan, as I believe they have infinite crew they can send over. Oh, okay. Torpedo's not ready, don't have ammo, but I can use the machine gun. 1, 2... oh, well. That's not going to do very much. But it's very easy to get that one wrong and just end up doing no damage, which is the risk reward of using the machine gun, I suppose. Oh, another shot incoming. My shields won't recharge in time, I don't think. Actually, I think when that bar's halfway, that counts as recharged. I was correct! And now I can use one of my shield tokens, instantly restore it. Of course, in order to have that place, I had to not have a healing bay, so it becomes very difficult to quickly heal lots of your crew at once. You basically have to rely on these doctors running around healing each other. Let's see... Don't have enough for my torpedo yet. Dodge facility, I think. Yep, got a dodge token, so I can dodge their next shot. But, just to show you what this game can be like if you miss something, I am not going to dodge it. I want to see some destruction inside my ship. First, I'm going to fire this torpedo. So this one, you press that. You've got these two lines, and you have to line them up over those circles, and that will determine how many shots of torpedo you get. Maximum, I believe, is 3. I've certainly not seen more than that, but maybe there's upgrades later that allow you to hit more times. It's fairly quiet now. Oh, aiming for the shield booster. So if my shields were down, they could just rip right through that and start fires everywhere. And shields are down. Let's see if we can do the same for them. 2, yeah, Maybe we should have chosen one of the other easier weapons. Let's build another shot for the plasma torpedo. Oh, here comes another invasion crew. So it's very important you do have a little security force running around taking these guys out as they invade, because otherwise they will just go and wreck all your systems. Like, they'll just walk right into that Dodge facility and tear it apart. Or tear apart these poor little aliens who are just wandering around aimlessly. Oh, torpedo ready? Nope, not yet. Machine gun not ready. But they are about to fire on the ship. Shield's just about recharged, so shouldn't see any chaos now. It's not a very impressive weapon for the amount of destruction it causes, really, is it? Oh, got a shield booster token now. Someone's leveled up. Yep, so she now has the science ability, which I believe massively extends the range of her heal. So you see this blue area, she's now healing everyone in there, if they've taken any damage. You don't have to pay anything for that, it's purely on cooldown. It's like a couple of minutes or something. Probably less. Machine gun ready? Alright. Oh. Ugh. See, I'm on camera and I can't do it. Normally I can perfect this without any trouble. You have to take my word on that. Oh, the weapons are nearly fine, their invasion's nearly ready. Oh, I haven't even got through their shields yet. That's powerful shit. It would have probably helped if I built up a bunch of torpedoes before this began. I'd be able to do far more damage. Oh, no shot's going to come through. It's coming there, so I want to move this guy out of the way, otherwise he's going to take damage when it hits. Alright, so there's a fire. Need to get my engineers on that. Unfortunately, the AI has no level of autonomy, so if something is damaged, they won't go and fix it like they do in FTL. You actually have to tell them, go over there and go fix it. Which is a bit annoying, but at the same time, it's kind of what makes this game fun, is knowing that everything has to have your input in some way. Oh, there's 4. 5? No, fair enough. I guess 3 is not the limit. I don't know what determines that. Oh god, they're invading right where that fire is. Yeah. If they want. Oh, it means my engineer's in trouble. That's smart of him, actually. It means he ain't going to be fixing anything anytime soon. Unfortunately, there's no way to select multiple people at the moment, which would make situations like this far easier. And oh dear, that guy's getting torn apart. Poor dude. Let's see if I can send my engineer around stealthily. Oh crap, another shot's coming in. So you can see how this can get very hectic very quickly. It only gets worse in later levels where enemies recharge weapons and invasion incredibly quickly. Pretty much constantly having to deal with something going wrong. Oh no, oh no! They shot right where my security force was. See, that guy's on fire, running around aimlessly. And this doctor is of course nowhere nearby. Come on, get in there. Oh no, he's not looking good. Get out of there, Doc. And that guy just walked right into a fire because I told him to. See, now these engineers will... Oh no, come on, get out of there. Don't be stupid. So now if you see here, these engineers are hard at work trying to undo all this horrible, horrible disaster. Do I have any ammo for the cannon? No! Because I was silly and didn't build more. But you get the idea, that's pretty much Star Command. I'll play maybe to the end of this scenario as it looks like we're nearly done. That should give you a pretty good impression of what playing this game is like. Oh! Hull breach! So, my captain's kind of screwed a bit here. He can't really come out of this door without getting sucked out into space. That's not a problem when your shields are up, so I may just... There we go. See, now it's safe for an engineer to go in there and deal with that. Actually, no, I'll keep the captain there, so he's safe. You're generally safe from hull breaches and stuff if you're inside a room, although room walls can get destroyed as well, but it doesn't happen quite so often. What I suspect is going to happen is I'm going to try and repair this hull breach, then they're going to fire a shot that will somehow tear through my shields and suck him out into space. I certainly hope so, because it'd be very funny. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ah. Oh well. That should be enough to nearly get him down. So, once this is done, I'll probably go into my current save and show you the problem I was talking about, and probably call it a day there. I think that will get you a pretty good impression of what this game's about. Oh, yep, there he goes. Poor guy. But rather stupidly, they put their invasion force there and then they're off too. It's a wacky game. Random stuff can happen like that. Do I have enough for that token yet? Come on. That torpedo will probably be enough to take him out at this point. I'll probably just dodge the next shot. I think I got some dodge tokens. Yeah, I'll be fine. I can just recharge my shields fully. Oh, I think I'm out of engineers. Oh no, there's one engineer left there. You can go fix that. Got this token. Alright, let's see if I can end this. Gave me way less time that time for some reason. It's really weird. I don't know what determines that either. Okay. Ah, yep, that did it. And he's down. Got a bunch of tokens, got a bunch of experience, and sadly, Jamil Hart died in the line of duty. Oh well, he's easily replaced with all these tokens I have now, so you don't really get as attached to crew members as you do in FTL. It's not really so much about that. People are disposable in the world of Star Command, unfortunately. Let's load up my save file and then let's get out. So here we go. It lags. It lags horribly. Yeah, the game's pretty much unplayable like this, but you can see I've had some substantial upgrades to my ship. I now have all this extra machinery in the Dodge facility. Got this giant healing room with loads of stuff. Got this machine gun with loads of upgrades. Engineering's full of upgrades. I'm told that that's actually what causes this lag. It's something about too many upgrades to different rooms. It's just too much for the thing to manage. But bizarrely, if I select something, well, suddenly everything's perfectly smooth. I don't know. I'm not a programmer. What I do know is this game's pretty cool, and it kind of bums me out that it has this glitch. Hopefully they will fix it soon, and I do highly recommend people pick it up once they do. But for now, at least, maybe give it a miss. Anyway, this has been Star Command.